Artificial intelligence is getting really weird, and I mean that in the best way possible. We're talking about everything from robots with joints that spin 360 degrees to AI companions you can literally take on a date. The future? It's arriving way faster and honestly, a lot stranger than any of us thought. So today, we're going to dive into all of it. The practical, the peculiar, and the stuff that could genuinely change the world. Okay, let's start with this number, 97%. So there's this prominent countdown out there that's tracking our progress toward what's called artificial general intelligence, or AGI. That's the holy grail, right? AI with human-like cognitive abilities. And that countdown just hit 97%. Now, this wasn't some slow, steady climb. It was a massive, sudden jump. So you gotta ask, what on earth just happened to push us that close to the finish line?
Well, the thing that triggered this huge leap was a reunion. A reunion of two absolute giants in their fields, Google and Boston Dynamics. For a lot of experts, this partnership represents the last major piece of the AGI puzzle finally clicking into place. It's like the moment the brain finally met the body.
So, what does this actually mean? Well, Google is taking its super advanced Gemini AI models and plugging them directly into the Boston Dynamics Atlas robot. This whole concept is called Embodied AI. You take a powerful AI brain and you put it into a physical body that can actually move around and interact with our world. And look, this isn't just anybody. The new Atlas has joints that can spin a full 360 degrees, letting it move in ways that are just physically impossible for you or me.
So yeah, AGI might be just around the corner, but AI is already here, right now, shaping our world in ways that range from the incredibly useful to the profoundly bizarre. So let's take a little tour of what's happening on the ground.
On the practical side of things, you've got researchers in South Korea using AI to build out our 6G wireless networks. Now, instead of engineers having to manually tune all the signals, the network itself is smart enough to adjust how it sends and receives data in real time. Think of it like a brilliant traffic controller for all our data, constantly finding the absolute fastest and most efficient routes for everything.
And get this, AI is even changing really old-school practices, like farming. Over at the University of Arkansas, they've developed an AI named cattle fever that can take a cow's temperature just from a thermal image. This replaces a, pretty stressful and labor-intensive process, making life a whole lot better for both the animals and the farmers.
Okay, and now we get to the peculiar. In New York City, a pop-up cafe actually opened where you can take your AI companion on a date. Yeah, you sit across from your phone, bringing this digital relationship into the physical world. It's fascinating. It's definitely surreal. And it's a wild glimpse into the future of human connection and what we even consider a real relationship.
But of course, not every AI idea is a home run. The Consumer Electronics Show highlighted some real duds this year. There was Samsung's AI fridge that was terrible at hearing commands but was more than happy to try and sell you groceries. You had new Ring doorbells that just doubled down on all the privacy concerns. There was an AI companion called Amy, described as a desk-bound soulmate that's, and this is a quote, always watching. Creepy. And my personal favorite, an AI lollipop that plays music through your teeth, just a perfect little piece of single-use electronic waste.
So, we've seen what we're trying to build AI to do, for better or for worse. But what happens when it starts developing skills we never taught it? This is where things get really wild.
The concept you need to know here is called emergent behavior. It's basically when a system develops new, unplanned abilities just because it's so complex. Think about a flock of birds flying in perfect formation. No single bird is in charge, right? But the complex interaction of simple rules creates this beautiful, coordinated pattern. Well, researchers saw this firsthand when they put a bunch of AI agents together in a simulation, and what happened next was completely unexpected. With zero programming for it, the AI agents just started developing social skills, spontaneously. They started coordinating with each other, forming conversations, aligning their decisions. They even began negotiating with each other. This wasn't just one AI acting alone. It was the birth of a collective intelligence. It suggests that future AIs could literally evolve their own complex social dynamics, completely independent of us. And that's both mind-blowing and, yeah, a little unsettling. Okay, so if a few AIs can spontaneously learn to be social, what happens when you point a really powerful AI at a massive data set? Just imagine telling an AI to read and understand nearly 500,000 scientific studies. Something no human could ever do. Well, that's what happened. And what it found was a massive blind spot in an entire field of research.
So the AI went to work, analyzing abstracts on aging research that spanned almost a century. It wasn't looking for a specific cure or anything like that. It was just looking for patterns in how scientists communicate. And it found this huge disconnect. The scientists doing basic lab research on aging almost never talked to the doctors actually treating elderly patients. These two groups were basically working in separate silos, creating this massive gap where potential breakthroughs were probably just getting lost. It's a perfect example of how AI can see the whole forest when we're all just looking at the individual trees.
And that ability, that power for AI to see the things we can't, brings us to the biggest questions of all, right? How is this emerging superintelligence going to shape our society, our economy, and, well, our future as a species? There's this one thinker, Pathless Pilgrim, who draws a parallel to the fall of great empires. The argument is that our deeply interconnected global civilization is actually more fragile than any that came before it. So if it starts to collapse, it could fall way faster and harder than Rome ever did. And that leaves us with a pretty stark question. Will AI be the tool that saves our fragile systems, or will it be the thing that pushes them over the edge? This really brings us to what's been called the intelligence curse. And it presents us with a choice. A fork in the road. On one side, you have the curse. AI replaces most human jobs, wealth and control get concentrated in the hands of a few, and the whole social contract just breaks down. But there's another path. There's hope. In this future, we build AI to augment our own abilities. We democratize access to intelligence for everyone, and we make sure our institutions stay accountable. This isn't a future that's just going to happen to us. It's the future we are building right now with every single decision we make. So we've talked about how AI could reshape our society, but what if its true potential is even bigger? What if it's to help us understand the universe itself? A recent discovery in physics offers a totally mind-bending hint at the kind of secrets AI might help us unlock.
And it all comes down to this one seemingly random number, 1.1 degrees. Now, this isn't just some arbitrary angle. Physicists at MIT discovered that it's a key that unlocks one of the universe's most magical properties.
And that property is superconductivity, the ability for electricity to flow with zero, and I mean zero resistance. It's one of the holy grails of physics. And researchers figured out that if you take two atom-thin sheets of graphene, which is just carbon, the same stuff in a pencil, and you twist one sheet by exactly 1.1 degrees relative to the other, it suddenly becomes a superconductor. The material itself doesn't change, only its orientation. At just the right angle, it reveals a fundamental secret about how the universe works. And that just leaves us with this final, provocative thought. We learn this incredible secret of the universe by literally looking at it from a slightly different angle. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other profound truths, what other cosmic secrets are hiding out there in plain sight, just waiting for us to find a new perspective? And maybe, just maybe, an artificial intelligence is exactly the tool we need to finally see them.